I'm a non-attorney spokesperson.
This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Right, great friends. What's going down? It is Monday afternoon. Today is May 9th. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. Hey, fellas, just to get started here, and I mentioned this as we were hitting the break, between the F1 race in Miami, the Canelo fight in Vegas, which turned into a massive upset for those of us who didn't know who Canelo was fighting, between the 80-1 long shot in the Kentucky Derby. By the way, Britney Eurton from TVG and NBC Sports, who was there covering the Kentucky Derby, she'll be with us later on today. And everything else that was going on this weekend, NBA playoffs, lots of Major League Baseball games. We were talking about the Padres and this walk-off win yesterday. There was so much stuff that happened this weekend, and I want to get to it all. Before we start, though, I want to ask you guys this. Would you call Friday's lunch bunch at the Belly Up in Solana Beach? By the way, shout out to the Belly Up. Rocking this Belly Up t-shirt today. Not only did we have lunch with the Belly Up on Friday, but on Friday night after mine and Browner's date, I showed up at the Belly Up because my friends, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, were playing. And I went in there for the last maybe 6 or 7 songs that they performed. And then Saturday night, I found myself at their restaurant, Pacific Coast Grill in Cardiff, which is one of my favorites. So shout out to our friends from the Belly Up. Guys, I'll throw it to you. Did you have fun? Did you find it to be successful? Did you think it was a good concept? What'd you think about the first ever lunch bunch at the Belly Up this past Friday?
That was a great time. There's, little things that we can tweak to make it better. But it was overall a very good time.
What kind of stuff you have in mind?
Good to see everybody.
What kind of stuff you have in mind? I'm curious.
As far as
Tweaking
what?
it.
Making
Yeah.
it better? Just handling things beforehand. I was texting you about that stuff. I was
Yeah,
I don't want to leave anybody hanging,
Yeah. I thought what
Yeah.
we were doing was, I thought that when people emailed their reservation, I actually thought they were putting in their credit card and they were paying for lunch in advance.
Right.
Turns out that wasn't really the case. And so, dude, there was some real drinking going on a Friday afternoon.
There was some bills at the end of that. There was some bills at the end of that lunch.
Yeah, right. I mean, lunch was like $30, let's say, but the bar tab was pretty serious.
It was decent. It was a good, decent, heavy tab.
And I think the biggest shocker of the afternoon was that Browner was not alone in being anti-salad.
Oh, there were a couple of people that were anti-salad.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Rigby was anti-salad.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Rigby was anti-food.
Yeah, he didn't want to eat. He's like, yo, I'll pay for the lunch,
Yeah.
but I don't want to eat. And I was like, Joe, you don't have to pay
Yeah.
for the lunch if you don't eat it.
Yeah, no, he's like, no, I don't want food. I don't eat food. Bernard Thompson, anti-salad.
No salad for Bernard.
Who else didn't eat salad? Tommy ate everybody's leftovers, so it wasn't like leftover food. I don't. At least that was on my side of the table. I saw 2 dudes go anti-salad.
I know the next day when we went to the Ride One Up demo day, Louis was also like, dude, I don't want a salad. He kind of was on Browner's side, the anti-salad crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're growing strong
Yeah, like
every day.
when I picked the menu at Sammy's, it's probably just gonna be like a ton of pizzas, a ton of mini sliders, some chicken wings for Browner, a plate of chicken wings for Browner, and really that's it.
No. What about the Kung Pao?
Like the way Browner's getting a plate of chicken, you can get your Kung Pao.
Okay.
But if I'm picking the menu, it's pizzas all day, cheeseburgers all day. I know what people want to eat.
Yep.
Quick finger foods if we're doing family,
Yeah.
We messing around with 2 spoons and put it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that idea. Yeah, it was fun. I thought Friday was really great and had an awesome time. Alex, I think Tommy shot some video at the luncheon because none of us took pictures. None of us shot. I don't know what the hell we were thinking. Like that's
Call
part of the
having
whole-
fun.
Yes, true.
Being
but
in the moment.
I concur. However, from a business perspective, eventually there's going to be restaurants and bars that are going to be like, we want that. We want you guys to talk about us for 3 weeks and then show up and bring a bunch of people. So this is a great proof of concept, if you will. So the only person that shot video, though, was Tommy. Can you play it for us, Alex? Let's take a look.
Turn your volume down, everybody.
All right.
Here with very famous radio personalities. Shout out. Shout
How
out.
long?
Shout out.
Yeah, Anthony,
Shout
what's
out.
going on?
Shout out. 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 Yeah. These are the most famous people on the planet Earth. Shout out. Shout out. Shout out.
Molly,
I thought he was
What up, LA
yelling,
Cal?
"Shut up."
he did sound like he was saying shut up, didn't he?
Yeah, I really thought he was yelling, "Shut up," and I was like, "Why is everybody shut up?"
No, that was
Yeah.
fun, man. That was a lot of fun. And look, you take 20 people, you put them at a lunch like that, it becomes intimate. Everybody kind of hangs out together. I was a little embarrassed that I had to leave so early, but thankfully the great friends kind of understand the position that I find myself in. And I really appreciate you hanging out the whole time, Browner. And Alex, I'm sorry about what happened to you, where you got called out to go pick up the dog, only to find out that you didn't need to pick up the dog.
Listen, man, I know people love to hang out with y'all, but they would rather hang out with me. They know I'm the real fun. They know
They're much more fun than I am.
They know what's really going down. They know I'm staying the party. They know what's up. They know who the turn up is. I'm the turn up, not the vegetable, the actual fun. That's me. That's me.
Agreed. I'm the guy that sits on the side of the table with the beer, and if we sit down, then we're just gonna conversate. I don't know how much fun that is, but that's just who I am.
I actually had to call Browner later in the day, and I was like, "Yo, Browner, are you good
Oh,
to go to the
yeah.
baseball game?" And he's like, "Yeah, why? What's up? Are you canceling on me?" I'm like, "No, I'm not canceling on you. It's just that you drank so much at lunch. I didn't know if you'd still be around. I didn't know if you were
bruh.
faded."
That light work, bro. I showed up to that game ready. We almost saw a brawl at the end, bro.
Oh, dude.
It was an eventful
Who?
day.
Tommy almost got beat up.
And then
No, no,
afterwards,
no,
we went
no.
for a very nice drink at a very fancy place. So
Yeah.
look at
No,
us.
me and Browner went out to the what is the name of that place? The Templeton Rye, that right center field
Yeah,
party
the seats.
section at Petco Park. And Browner and I met there together, and we had a couple of drinks, and we hung out. We actually stayed until the game was over.
Shout out to Ehan.
Yeah, Ernie Hahn. Shout out is right, and shout out to those guys from Infinium Spirits who hosted us. But we stayed till the end of the game, and then Browner and I decided we were going to go into the gas lamp and have a beverage because I was waiting for my son's plane to land. And as we're walking out, Browner notices two guys are getting ready to throw,
Mm-hmm.
and Browner takes out his phone, starts
Attaboy.
shooting video. He's like, "Oh, right there."
Sideways. The way it's
Sideways.
supposed to be done.
Sideways.
Yep,
Wow.
right there.
Dude, I was with someone this weekend who purposely shot and told me, he's like, I film my stuff like this, like whatever,
Vertical.
straight
Vertical.
up vertical, because you can't post videos landscape on social media. And I was like,
Yeah, you can.
first of all, yeah, you can, but
It's a brown fact.
if you're on TikTok, if you're on Instagram Reels, and I guess those are like the two big platforms now, all videos are vertical.
Mm-hmm.
So younger people, I was a younger dude, film their stuff vertical for those reasons.
Then
And I was like, well, in our world of television and YouTube and
Twitter.
real life stuff, you do it landscape.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
You do it landscape.
So Browner takes out his phone, and me and Browner are walking out. We're out in the right center field area, and these two guys start kind of going at it. And so thankfully, cooler heads prevailed, and the one
Barely.
guy. True or false, Browner?
What?
I said cooler heads prevailed, and you said
Oh, yeah, barely.
barely. So now the guy in the Padre jersey kind of walks down the stairs, and he's yelling to these guys, "Welcome to San Diego, biatch." Welcome to San Diego. And me and Brown are like, "Oh man, that almost escalated, right?" So now the guy from San Diego, the Padre guy, he's walking down, and his friends are like, "Come on, man, cool down. It's cool, whatever." And they're walking down, and now the next thing we know, the guys who were like on the other side, I think they were Dodger fans. I don't really understand what they were doing. Why would
At
a
a
Dodger
Padres
fan
game.
show up at a Padres Marlins game?
Who
You know?
knows? Scouting. He's scouting.
Well, these two guys now they wanted a piece because they're like, okay, we were kind of barking at each other, but now that it's been broken up, we're not done. We're not done. So Browner and I kind of walked down. I got to go hit the men's room, but the line was too long. So I'm like, forget it. Let's get out of here. And these two guys are looking for the guy in the Padre jersey. And the guy in the Padre jersey, he's looking for those two guys.
He
And
went and got a
Browner's-
homeboy.
Oh,
He
he
went and
did.
got a homeboy, and then him and his homeboy were looking for the other two dudes. Let me
Yeah.
tell you something. This guy was solid, and I'm talking about like defensive tackle, linebacker, solid. Like there wasn't no small dude. He was gonna crush that drunk guy.
But Browner says to the guy in the Padre jersey, he goes, "Yo, man," he goes, "forget it, man. It ain't worth it." And the guy looks at Browner because he was short, but he was thick. He looked
Yeah.
at Browner. He's like, "This really cool, tall black guy is telling me to chill the hell out." You know what? He hugged it out with him. He gave Browner the bro hug. Browner diffused the situation, and away we went into the
Yep.
gas lamp.
Into the night.
Yeah.
Into
the
Iron
night.
Fish.
And then,
So you guys had a good man hang.
yeah, we did have a good man hang because then Browner and I went into what's the name of that called? Lionfish? Is that what it's
Yeah.
called? Yeah, at the Pendry Hotel. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then Browner
Nice.
got himself a
That's
oh,
bougie.
dude,
Yeah,
it's
there
a
you
$20 espresso martini.
I was about to say I heard how much
Dude.
you paid for a martini. You talk about West
Yeah,
Coast elite over
$20
here.
espresso
You know what I
martini.
mean?
$20 espresso martini,
Dude.
bro. Listen, man. You can call me all you want. I got a Peloton, but I ain't paying $20 for no espresso martini.
Bro, I was like, really? An
$20.
espresso martini is $20
Bomb.
for real?
It was
Yeah.
good though.
Bro, vodka's not expensive, and espressos are not expensive. You just
If you put them joints together with the right mix. Our bartender was terrible.
The worst. This
The
guy
worst.
was the worst. This
Ugh.
guy hated what he was doing,
Hated himself.
where he was. And after we ordered the drinks and he started making the drinks, like the manager of the place came up to him and said, "Hey, I need you to do something." And he turned his back and stopped making our drinks and was working on the computer. I'm like, "Yo, you stop in the middle of making drinks. You say to the manager, 'Give me a second. Let me finish these drinks for these guys.'" Guy was
He was
miserable.
terrible. He was so bad. He was
Terrible
so
bartender.
bad.
For real.
Ugh.
Anyway, so me and Browner had a really nice man date. And then I went and picked up my son from the airport, drove back up. My son dropped me at the Belly Up. I hung out with some friends at the Belly Up that night. And then and away we went. I mean, it was a very nice man date. We actually had a nice weekend because I don't know about you guys. Did you guys also like the Ride One Up e-bike event on Saturday? Because me and Alex were down in downtown San Diego at about 10:30-ish. Alex, you may have gotten there before me. I think you did.
it's the first one
Yeah.
there.
And then when we left, Alex and I, Browner came in and took a little bit later of a shift. But we had like Tommy down there, who's I think bought a bike. We had Tito down there. We had Louie and his kids stop by. We had some folks come through that weren't part of the show that were trying to buy some bikes that were taking advantage of the deals that were offered. It was a great time. I really had a fun time on Saturday. Did you guys?
Yeah, man, they got a lot of leg traffic out of it.
Daniel?
Daniel thought it was great, good participation, a lot of back and forth, people coming and looking at the bikes. Him and I took a nice little ride. I rode two of the other bikes and trying to make a decision on which one I'm gonna get. So it was a good opportunity to actually physically get on the bikes, ride them, and see them, and people took advantage of it.
Yeah. In fact, Alex and I think we were zipping through Balboa Park. Alex got some video on this. So I don't know what was going on in Balboa Park on Saturday, but
The
it was
Ukraine
freaking
rally.
packed. Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah.
A rally for Ukraine?
Because by the time I got there,
No, this was
yeah,
a
that's
market.
a market. That's there
This is
every
their-
weekend. By the
Oh.
time I was riding through there, it was a huge gathering for Ukraine. Your former employer was there, videoing the thing. It was interesting.
Who's my former employer?
You know who you used to work for.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
When Bert stole your job.
Oh, KUSI,
Mm-hmm.
my former employer. This is video that I am literally holding my iPhone in my hand while rolling through Balboa Park, hoping to not
dangerous.
fall off the bike and hoping to not hit anybody. And by the way, I have Tommy over my right shoulder, and I'm just trying to make sure that his front wheel doesn't hit my back wheel.
Was he yelling, "Shut up"?
No, he was yelling, "Shout out."
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. Just as I'm crossing over the bridge, I'm like looking over at the Balboa golf course, and then I kind of flip around. There's downtown, and it was just such a beautiful Saturday afternoon. This is the kind of thing that if you have ever thought about e-biking, it's so much fun. rideoneup.co/greatfriends, rideoneup.co/greatfriends. That's the URL and the landing page to use if you're contemplating buying one of these bikes. And Daniel's got some deals going on right now. If you buy 2 Limiteds or 2 Core 5 models, he'll take off an additional $150 if you buy them in pairs. So he's got $200 in savings on the Limiteds because they're having a spring sale, and you can throw in the extra 150 if you buy them in pairs. And Alex, you were saying that the Core 5 model is only at like, is it 1195 for the bike retail?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So telling you, man, these Ride One Up e-bikes are awesome. So we had a great time. It was all in all, I'm telling you, it was a great weekend. Friday we had the lunch bunch. Friday night, me and Browner had a mandate. Saturday we had the demo day. Saturday afternoon, I went up to Del Mar for a Kentucky Derby party. Didn't really watch any of the races. Then decided to start making bets on lots of different horses in the Derby. And then out of nowhere, an 80-1 long shot, who, by the way, we had all these papers in front of us, horse 1 through horse 20, and horse 21 won the race. And everybody's looking around going, who's that? Who? I didn't even know that horse was in the race.
Who
Who
that
he play
be?
for?
Yeah. So it was a great weekend. All
They
in
said it
all.
was a late scratch, and then they just threw this guy in, and he won.
Well, that's what happened is so, you show up with extra, like, hey, we're not in the Derby, but if somebody scratches, we'll have a chance to get in the Derby. And to start out at 21 means you've had the longest trip. We'll talk about this. Britney Eurton from NBC Sports, who was covering the Kentucky Derby, she'll be with us coming up in a little while. She'll give us more detail on what happened. But the weekend, say again,
She
Alex?
there?
She was there.
Was she there?
You obviously didn't watch any of the coverage,
Nice. Oh, I loved the Kentucky Derby coverage. It was my
but
favorite.
you didn't watch any of it.
I watched all of it.
You watched none of it.
All of it.
Mm-hmm. Or at least that's what you're going to tell Britney, right?
Pre-races,
Mm-hmm.
races, post-races, everything.
See how many like stars were at big events this weekend? I say stars, whether they're sports stars from Michael Jordan to David Beckham to Tom Brady.
I thought there were more starts at F1 than there were at the Kentucky Derby. Now that
I think
says a
so
lot.
too. I think so too. But I think F1 in Miami, I think is like a star-studded event just waiting to happen.
Bro, I saw Jordan roll through. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Jizzle? Just
Mhm.
looking
Dude,
fresh.
they had Lewis Hamilton, Tom Brady doing like sit down interviews together. You had, like I said, Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, David Beckham. I think like as far as athletes go,
Mhm.
it was like insane how many were there. And then you had actors like Matt Damon. You had musicians like Bad Bunny. Like,
Maybe,
it was
maybe
just
not Patrick Mahomes.
definitely not Patrick Mahomes.
Hey, did everybody see this weekend? So one of the things, so look, I'll be honest with you. This was my first F1 race that I've ever watched. And on Sunday
Oh, you watched it?
afternoon, oh yeah, I sat down at it's about 2 in the afternoon or so. I pretty much got to the race. The race itself, there were 57 laps. I think I got to the race at about 49. So I'm like, ooh, good timing for me. I'm going to watch the last, 7 or 8 laps of this race and see who wins. The race itself, I will say, for somebody who's a
Sucks.
complete novice, I didn't really know the sport per se, but I could see, this guy passed that guy, this guy spun out. So I found it good. I found it to be good television. What I was most interested in, though, was how they took the stadium where the Dolphins play and how they built not just the course, but how they built grandstands and all these other sorts of things. Let me say this to the city of San Diego. Today, whoever's in charge of this, whoever from the sports commission, whoever from city government, I don't know who's in charge of this any longer. I would be doing everything I could do to try and get an F1 race in San Diego. Because I'm telling you right now, there were hundreds of thousands of people who descended upon South Florida who aren't even necessarily big F1 fans. They're just event fans. And they wanted to be there for this. And then after the race was over, the way they do the trophy presentation, and I thought it was so cool. Tom Garfinkel, who was at one time the president of the Padres on one side, Dan Marino on the other side, tons of people in the crowd giving out these trophies and spraying champagne and stuff flying from the sky like confetti. I just the way they used Dolphin Stadium, the way they built a track, the grandstands, and had the world descend upon Miami. Whoever runs the San Diego Sports Commission now, you should be trying to get an F1 race in San Diego as fast as possible because they got one in Vegas, and I'll bet you the people in LA are thinking the same thing. Like, we got to get one here. Browner, why are you giving me a kind of a weird look on that?
You know who said this, right? When we talked about this maybe 2 weeks ago. You know who said they should do that? Me. You know who said they shouldn't do that?
Who?
You did, sir.
No, I didn't.
I think you were talking about the draft.
No,
Actually.
I was talking about both of them. We had
Why
the
would
conversation about both things.
why would I say no to F1? Why would I say
I
that?
said Browner 2024.
Mm-hmm.
We gonna be getting this kind of stuff. Browner 2024. We gonna be getting this kind of stuff.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say no. I would say good idea. So if you said that a couple weeks ago, great idea.
Now that you've
I
seen
concur.
it, now that you have seen it, you say
dude,
yes.
Listen, dude, I say yes 2 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. Any kind of major international sporting event, Breeders' Cup, F1 race, I don't care what it is. Bring it to San Diego.
But you say no to the draft here?
I said that the draft will never happen here. The NFL draft will never happen here because we don't have an NFL team here. So why would the NFL bring the draft to a city that it doesn't have an NFL team?
Business.
Won't do it. It won't happen.
All right.
But I mean, listen, if they do it, great.
F1 ain't happening here either.
Why not?
That's never gonna happen. They got contracts with Austin for another 6 years. They got contracts with Miami for 10 years, and Vegas hasn't been announced, but I'm sure that's not a one-off.
Right, I'm sure.
Money talks, man.
They're only doing 3 races. They're
have
not
it.
going to do a 4th American race, that's for sure.
All right, hold
Money
on, everybody. We got a lot more to get to.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Dominating the SoCal radio airwaves for over 20 years. Join Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner for Kaplan and Crew every Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. only on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the mightier1090.com.
I say we get rid of it.
We? I was the one who went and got it.
What if he finds out we opened it?
If your crazy neighbor cared, he wouldn't have thrown it away, right?
This is bad. This is bad. This is bad, what we're doing.
I wonder if this was Grandma's. Today was my first day at Lockwood Hat.
Nobody wants you here.
This white boy kept staring at me.
I'm James.
Why are you talking to me?
This is not like any other relationship. One slip and we're done for.
What I care about is this family's reputation.
Rugby. It's America's fastest growing sport and the predecessor of American football, combining football's physicality, the free-flowing grace of soccer, the ball-handling skills of basketball, and the intensity of ice hockey. No pads, no helmets, all action. Rugby Wrap-Up and Major League Rugby every Thursday night at 9 p.m. on Your View.
Hanging out at the beach? What a lifestyle. And you could be here every day if you enter the San Diego Giving Back Raffle, a benefit for Ronald McDonald House Charities of San Diego.
Grand prize is this multi-million-dollar home 1 block from the ocean. Or you can win a sports car, a dream vacation, or cash. Everyone is guaranteed to win a fabulous prize. The Giving Back Raffle helps families in need, like the Uggan family.
Visit sdraffle.com to learn more.
Main streets are the heart of our communities, where we connect with our neighbors, support local businesses, and share new adventures. Main Street Living celebrates all of this, bringing you uplifting stories with guests from across the country and your community. Main Street Living covers what's important to you today, from our street to your street. Join Cheryl, Danielle, and Quincy for Main Street Living, Mondays at 9 on Your View.
Watch the Austin Gilronis take on your San Diego Legion Thursday, May 28th at 5 p.m. on YourView.
Welcome back. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, John Browner, and Alex Padilla.
All right, great friends. We welcome you back to the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man. And if you're listening to us on AM 1090, ESPN 1090, glad to have all the radio listeners along today. For those of you that are watching on YouTube, you're going to be really happy because I know we've gotten requests from everybody that said, would you please bring Britney Eurton on the show and talk about the Kentucky Derby? And I am so glad that we did not bring Britney on the show last week to talk about the Derby in advance because she was down in Kentucky and she's like, dude, the timing is just not working out, the East Coast, West Coast time. But thankfully, we did not get Britney on the show last week because who knew that there was going to be a major, major upset in the Kentucky Derby and that it would turn into a national talking point today. So Britney Eurton was down there in Kentucky. She was covering the race for NBC Sports. And here we are today on radio, on television, on YouTube, on all the different audio podcast platforms. And Britney Eurton, our longtime friend, is back on the show. Britney, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I've missed you. Yeah, good thing you didn't have me on before because 1000% I could not have given you the 80-1 shot Rich Strike. I would have given you Zandon, who finished third. So, things all worked out, right?
Yeah, right. It worked out for us anyway because I watched the race on Saturday, and when the horse won, Rich Strike, most of us in this bar in Del Mar, you would appreciate this. I was at a Kentucky Derby party in Del Mar, and we all had like sheets on our table of the field,
Right.
1 through 20.
1 through 20? Okay.
Right. And when Rich Strike won the race, most of us looked around and went, who's number 21? We were literally looking at the lineup. We were like, wait, I got horse 1 here. I got horse 20 here. Who's Rich Strike? So none of us even knew about this horse because obviously somebody has to scratch for this horse to get in. Could you explain that process for those people who don't necessarily know this stuff?
What's funny is it's not just your sheets that actually had 1 through 20. The official Churchill Downs Kentucky Derby T-shirts don't even have the winner on it because 21 wasn't on there. Okay, so you have to have a horse scratch or pull out of the race at a specific time for the what's called also eligibles, which is what Rich Strike was, number 21 or number 22, to be able to get into the race. So it was Friday morning scratch time. The connections of Rich Strike thought, oh, we're not going to be able to get in. And then Ethereal Road, who was number 20 for trainer Dwayne Lucas, who actually won the Kentucky Oaks that day, scratched from the race. So that allowed Rich Strike to enter the race in post position 20 as number 21. It's wild. The entire thing has been such a great story, so needed for the sport. There's so many wonderful angles with it between the jockey and the trainer and the jockey's agent and the groom and the owner. I love every bit of it, and I can't stop watching the drone replay.
Okay, so now before we even talk about this drone replay, which I also watched 100 times because listen, I'm telling you right now, there's a point where the guy who's calling the race on the track,
Larry Colmus, right?
has no idea that Rich Strike is coming to win this race.
Because he's so far back. I don't think anybody saw him coming, including Joel Rosario and Flavian Pratt aboard Epicenter and Zandon, respectively.
Okay, so do us a favor if you don't mind. Tell us about the owner, the jockey, the trainer, where they're from. Maybe like this horse also was not a very expensive horse, as I've read some stuff. Would you just take us through the storylines, horse, jockey, trainer, connections, etc.?
Okay, well, I'm learning as most other people are as well. I had never met trainer Eric Reed before until the Kentucky Derby. So he's based in Lexington. He's been training for about 40 years. His father training for about 60 years. They were all on site. It was a complete family affair. Sonny Leone, the most recent victory he had was at Belterra Park in Ohio aboard a $5,000 claimer. He had never won a graded stakes before, let alone a grade 1, let alone the Kentucky Derby. But he had ridden this horse so many times before that Eric Reed wanted to stick with him and glad that he did, because he never gave up on this horse. He gave a sensational Hall of Fame type of ride. The owner, his name is Rick. He's been with Eric for some time as well. They just thought, okay, if we get in, we've got a shot. You have to be in it to win it, right? And that's what's so great about this story, is that a horse can come from anywhere. They claimed this horse, meaning the horse was up for purchase, for $30,000, and now he's a Kentucky Derby winner. It's insane.
This isn't the most insane story. So let me just get this straight. You have a veteran trainer that's never been anywhere near something like this. Is that right?
Correct. His first Kentucky Derby.
And you've got a jockey who's riding, inexpensive horses on a smaller, lesser known track. Is that also right?
Correct. I think the best way of explaining it is like going from the minor leagues to winning the World Series. Or even, let's say, I mean, I don't want to call it T-ball, but it's a much smaller track. So you were not getting the exposure by any means that you would be at the Kentucky Derby. They are going from minor leagues to winning the World Series, a walk-off home run. I mean,
Right.
It was unbelievable.
Right. If you win at Santa Anita, if you win at Del Mar, you could be a favorite in the Kentucky Derby and everybody would know who you are. What track?
Mostly, sure. Yeah.
What track are these guys coming from?
Well, Ohio, Belterra Park would be where Sonny Leo most recently was, which is in Ohio, a very small track. And Eric Reed, he's been training at a training facility in Lexington, Kentucky. And his story just is so deep, because it's so sad. He lost 23 horses in a barn fire about 6 years ago. And he contemplated giving up training because he thought at this point in time, life does not get any worse. He lost everything. And then he lost 2 assistant trainers to cancer, and he lost his grandson to a tragic accident. I mean, all of this in lead up to what now will be one of the most remarkable, memorable days of his entire life. So you could imagine how the victory in the Kentucky Derby was so layered for him and his family.
Wow. We're talking to Britney Eurton this afternoon. Britney is a longtime great friend of the show. Britney, myself, and Alex, we worked together for several summers doing a racehorsing radio show at Del Mar. And Britney, who you see on TVG all the time, also is now part of NBC's Triple Crown coverage. And by the way, I loved what you were wearing this weekend. I saw your tweets also kind of thanking the stylist who works with you. You looked awesome. It was really great.
Thank you. It was a bold choice. And I have to say, I didn't make the decision to wear the crown, which kind of was, resembled the Olympic logo maybe. So it was very apropos. I was nervous. I'm not going to lie, but I'm glad that I went with the choice. It was fun. It's the Kentucky Derby, go big or go home. So it was not loved by everybody, but that's okay, right? You got to cause a splash somehow.
Britney, isn't it though, like not only did this horse have number 21 on it,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody even knew that the horse was in the race for the most part. But isn't it like they say that on the rail, so the number 1 spot is a very hard place to win. Isn't it super hard to win from way outside also? Doesn't that mean that you have to go longer than everybody else?
Well, absolutely. But that's what was so brilliant about Sonny Leone's ride, is he was able from post 20, which it's better now with the 1 starting gate. You have 1 through 20 all in 1 starting gate. And so it definitely benefits inside and outside post positions. But his ability to get the horse into a good position going into that far turn, so he wasn't 10 wide, and then the horse's ability, because you have to give both of them credit here, to weave through other horses. Messier was retreating. He kind of had to take up on his horse a touch to still have the ability to finish. I relate it to weaving through traffic on the 405, but we have a car and these animals are not machines. So it was truly brilliant by both horse and rider what they did on Saturday.
Was the pace on Saturday? Okay, it's like watching the aerial shot, right? Like you see how far behind the horse was. So
Right.
was the pace slow or
No, the pace was wicked fast, which is what helped him. So typically they say if you have a really hot pace, a quick pace from the leaders, the pace setters, that it'll help horses coming from off the pace, because likelihood of the pace setters getting tired is high. So that definitely benefited him. But he still had to have the finish. He still had to be able to go 1.25 miles. There were a lot of things that had to work out for him. But yes, the pace scenario absolutely helped him out. I believe it was the fastest opening 1/4 mile in Kentucky Derby history.
Brittany, if we play the video, excuse me, one quick second, Browner. If we play the video, Brittany, and the three, and we all watch it together, the four of us all watch it together.
Yeah.
Will you just tell us what you see, so that we kind of hear from someone who is much more experienced?
Yeah, the drone replay.
Yeah, I'm not sure we have the drone replay, but we kind of have the way it ends. But just would love to hear your thought on what happened. Oh, here we do have the drone replay.
Oh,
Excuse
it's
me.
epic. Okay, so you see Epicenter, who finished second. He's sitting just 3 wide and obviously making his move around the turn. And what Rich Strike is doing, Sonny Leone puts him along the rail. So he's got clear opening there, but obviously he has a lot of ground to make up. And what happens here, he moves his way around Messier, who is kind of backing up, and then back towards the rail. And to have the finish, I mean, there's no way Joel Rosario even saw him coming, but he had clear sailing and he had the horse underneath him to swoop right on by the top 2 choices, or maybe first and third choice within the race. It's remarkable, especially right here. He's in behind horses. Where is he going to go? And he sees this slight opening, pushes between, and then comes up the rail. It's an unbelievable ride, and it's an unbelievable horse to be able to do that. You don't always have a horse that can stop and start a few times like Rich Strike did, and he was a tough horse to pull up too. That was a whole nother part of the story, is he was very difficult to pull up, and it just goes to show some horses, the more distance they get, the better they are, and that was the case with Rich Strike.
All right, Browner, you were jumping in. Excuse me.
What does a win like this do for the jockey, and what does a win like this do for the owners? Like, if you own a horse or you're part of a stable, like let's say Scott is, and you see something like this happen, what does that do for your group?
It changes their lives entirely. And you'll hear them all say it the next morning, from the groom to the owner, of course, to the jockey, to the trainer. Nobody knew who they were really before Saturday, and now everybody knows who they are. The Today Show's interviewing them. They're all over social media. I've been watching Sonny Leone's Twitter handle or Twitter following, and I think it's increased, triple by the time he came into the Kentucky Derby. So it's a life-changing moment for all of them.
How much money does the winning horse or team take from the Derby?
60% of the $3 million purse.
Okay, got it. 60% of $3 million. Got it. Okay.
That's what goes to the owner, and then the owner gives 10% to the trainer and 10% to the jockey.
So what happens to Sonny Leone now? I mean, does he go back to the minor leagues? Is he going back to single A rookie ball? Or does Sonny Leone now all of a sudden find himself at Saratoga this summer, or Del Mar this summer? Does he find himself at Santa Anita into the future? Does he find himself at Churchill Downs, Keeneland? I mean, does he find himself in the major leagues of horse racing going forward now?
It's all about opportunity, right? And he took advantage of the opportunity that he was given on Saturday to put his name out there. I would think that he does have that opportunity now to move around. It's just a matter of, will other owners and other trainers give him the chance to prove himself again over another track? But why not? We saw what he was able to do with an 80-1 shot on Saturday, and it wasn't just like he held on. He wasn't just a passenger. He was a pilot that day, and he was an incredibly talented pilot. So I think that if you didn't know his name before, you know his name now, and I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted to give himself the chance to keep moving forward and not just be the 2022, which is a great title, the 2022 winning Kentucky Derby jockey. I think he wants to be Sonny Leone, the talented rider.
All right, this is going to be an interesting question because a lot of people said this to me after the race. I want to hear what you have to say about this. We're talking to Britney Eurton from TVG and from NBC Sports. She covers the Triple Crown for NBC, and she was there at the Kentucky Derby this weekend. We're talking about what has become a national talking point, an 80-1 long shot, the second biggest long shot in the history of the Kentucky Derby, wins the Derby. If you bet $2 on an 80-1 long shot, it paid $165, just to give you some perspective. Britney, going into the next leg of the Triple Crown,
right?
What will the odds be on Rich Strike?
It depends, obviously, who we get. But if Epicenter goes, if Secret Oath, who won the Kentucky Oaks, goes, early voting for Chad Brown, who skipped the Kentucky Derby, is pointing towards the Preakness. Your Kentucky Derby winner from this year very well could be the 4th or 5th choice. So my guess would be somewhere around 8 or 9-1.
Okay, because somebody said to me after the race, they're like, yeah, totally impressive, incredible story. That horse will be a 20-1 long shot in the Preakness.
Maybe, but I think you have a lot of people that are rooting for this horse now. So the average bettor, the person that only watches horse racing for the 3 races of the Triple Crown, I think that they're going to bet on Rich Strike because, as the trainer and owner are now saying, he's America's horse. And why shouldn't he be? He's giving everybody the idea, and it should be like this, that a winner can come from anywhere. A Kentucky Derby winner can come from anywhere. It can be a $3,000 claiming horse that only had 1 victory to his name from, a very small barn, small stable. That's what makes horse racing great. As you know, a winner can come from anywhere.
Yeah. Hey, Brittany, one last thing about this race I got to ask you about. So I'm watching it, and after the race is over, there's a horse and a person riding the horse. I don't exactly know what their title is. That's going to help the jockey and the winning horse get to the winner's circle. What's it called?
Outrider.
Outrider. And I know you've been in this business your whole life because your dad is a famous trainer. But what I'm watching on television is I know how sensitive people are about horse racing.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched this outrider having a very hard time controlling and helping this horse. Now, this horse just ran a mile and change and just won. And, they're emotional too. I don't care that they're animals. They know what's going on. And I saw this and I went, oh, this is going to be bad for horse racing to see this guy after. Alex, you could show the video and Brittany could watch and explain to us what's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just talk us through this? What is happening here? Just explain this for people that don't know.
So what happens after a horse wins a race? They will then be corralled by an outrider, which is the gentleman that you see aboard the pony just to the left. His name's Greg Blasey. And what the outrider has to do is to corral this horse. So 1, he doesn't run away with it, get loose, and 2, bring him back to the winner's circle. And as you can see, Rich Strike is pumped up. And I listened to an interview with trainer Eric Reed today on the Today Show, and he said he was in that moment, his mentality is to win the race, to pass every single horse in that race. He described it as killer mode. He said he's not a mean horse, but he's confused as to why this other horse, because he's never had this happen before. He's never had a outrider, a pony rider bring him back. Why is this horse trying to slow me down? Why is this person grabbing my rein, which is what the outrider typically does? The rein is, what would be, or the bridle attached to the horse's head so they can grab them. Why is he doing this? So he got into fight mode and he actually bit the leg of the outrider. He bit the pony as well. And I think that if anybody wanted to see it, it was a great interview because he explained it perfectly. Eric actually gave credit to the outrider, Greg Blasey, for corralling the horse. He apologized for any injury that he sustained and his pony sustained, because if the outrider wasn't able to grab this horse, the horse could have gotten loose. The jockey could have been dropped. He said he saved his horse from further harm. And I completely understand the visual and how those that see him yanking on the rein to keep this horse calm per se, or to keep this horse at least with him, I can see how it would be misconstrued. But if you listen to that interview and if you know anything about horse racing, what he was trying to do was help the horse, help a horse that was very unruly after he won the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to get your thought on that because I'm sure that non-horse racing people would see that and feel like, see what they're doing to these horses. And I just wanted to get your thought on that. Brittany, who was the most interesting person you met or interviewed at this year's Kentucky Derby?
To be honest, I didn't have that many interviews. I unfortunately didn't, I wasn't a part of the Jack Harlow Drake interview, which went viral.
Yeah, do you know who was like the field producer given the rap sign? Did that guy like crap himself when Drake's like, "Who you telling to rap?" Like, do you know who that was?
I don't know, but I love every minute of it. I think I was on the backside actually listening to it happen, and somebody said to me, Did Drake just get upset for being rapped?
Yeah, I have it.
Couldn't tell you what it was.
I like it. I'm gonna have to put some money on.
It wasn't a Happy Aubrey. We'd run that too.
Just y'all.
First of all, you can't give the wrap it up signal. What are you gonna cut to?
Right?
What are you gonna cut to?
It's Drake and Jack Harlow, y'all. We had to.
What are you gonna cut to? Like a shot of like poorly manicured grass or something.
You know what I'm gonna tell him? I'm gonna tell him, just hold on, we're going home. Okay. All right? Drake and Jack Harlow. Churchill Downs. That's
maybe what the guy should have done was like, no, rap, as in like, yo, start rapping, yo.
Yes.
Rap,
exactly.
yo. So, Hey,
I will
Brittany.
say I did meet Brandy Chastain, and that was a big moment for me. She came up to me and commented on my headpiece, and she said, "Oh, it's very, very much so resembles the Olympics." And I said, "Oh, apropos, working for NBC." And then she walked away, and oh my gosh, that was Brandy Chastain.
Yeah.
She was so nice.
I love Brandy Chastain. Hey, before you go, I am just curious to hear this. We've been talking a lot of Padres today. Padres took 3 out of 4 from Miami. Your LA Dodgers took 3 games straight from the Cubs. Cubs come to San Diego tonight. Give me about 30 seconds on your Dodgers. What do you make of them so far?
I'm stoked. I'll almost be embarrassed if we don't win, considering the talent we have on the roster.
Wow, that was really concise.
You said 30 seconds, and I know I went short. I tend to go over, so.
Oh, that's great. Britney Eurton, everybody, from TVG and from NBC. And Britney, just so you know, I need you to shout out. You ready?
Shout out what?
Coach Steve Bogner.
Oh, Coach Steve.
Coach Steve runs the gas station up at Costco in San Marcos. And Coach Steve is probably your biggest fan.
Well, I'm Coach Steve's biggest fan because he's far too kind to me than I deserve. So, Coach Steve, love you, miss you. Hopefully see you at Del Mar.
Yeah. Hey, Britney, we are looking forward to watching you the rest of the Triple Crown on NBC. And then we will see you this summer at Del Mar.
I can't wait. Honestly, counting down the days until I make that drive down the 405 and then the 5 to get to Via de la Vie. Countdown.
We'll look forward to seeing you. Hey, everybody stick around. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios, along with Grande and the Brown Man. This is Kaplan and Crew.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific, every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
You're listening to the 50,000-watt powerhouse, bringing you the new generation of radio up and down all of California with a little bit of attitude. This is SoCal Sports Talk, the all-new and mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company, you need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
So I became a dentist because I just love science and I love art. I have a music background, so I wanted to do something that I can use the hand dexterity that I've developed, through my musical training. We've had a practice in San Diego for 25 years. It's called the Super Dentist. For over 2 decades, I've had parents ask me the same questions on a daily basis. And so I decided to put all of this information in one place. I wrote a book. Title of it is If Your Mouth Could Talk. Because if your mouth could talk, it would tell you about the condition of your entire life. Right now, the oral care marketplace is a mess. And so we decided to launch a new company called Supermouth, which is a subscription model of oral care. And so we want to be proactively educating parents, providing the tools and the oral care products to make sure they can raise healthier, happier, more successful kids. The education piece is a key piece in our company, because if you're educated as a parent, you're going to do the right things. People can find my book, If Your Mouth Could Talk, themouthbook.com, and purchase the book there, and also get some special gifts to go along with the book.
The 2022 San Diego Loyal season continues. Live on Your View and YourView.com. Watch the San Diego Loyal host the Colorado Springs Switchbacks Saturday, May 14th at 7 p.m. Come join us at Torero Stadium and support the San Diego Loyal as they continue their bid for the 2022 USL Championship. Tickets are available. San Diego Loyal versus the Colorado Springs Switchbacks, Saturday, May 14th on Your View. Join Jane Klaus on Creative Living as she shares fun and inspiring ideas for enriching your life.
I'm Jane Klaus, and on the next Creative Living, we're saving you money in your daily life. Easy steps to put cash back in your pocket. And we explore if buying an electric car is worth the cost.
Watch Creative Living, Sunday night at 8:30 on Your View and YourView.com. Creative Living. Imagine what you can do.
San Diego Legion Rugby is back, celebrating its 5th season of professional rugby in San Diego. Fun, excitement, entertainment. Just like all the sports you know, only better. San Diego Legion tickets are on sale now. Get yours today.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company, you need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
Listen to the Mike Greenberg Show, 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. Greeny brings his unmatched depth of sports knowledge, fun, and entertainment back to ESPN on a daily basis. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the Mightier1090.com.
Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout with Haley Stasiak.
San Diego State softball rallied past Utah State on Sunday to get their 7th straight series win. The Aztecs trailed 3-1 in the 7th, but came back after a 2-out RBI triple by Nicole Sace and a throwing error to get the 4-3 win on Senior Day. Maggie Balint helped open the weekend on a high note, tossing a no-hitter in the series opener. She struck out 12 in her first career no-hit game for her 13th double-digit strikeout game. It was the first no-hitter for SDSU since 2007. Balint was named Mountain West Pitcher of the Week for the 8th time last week out of 12 eligible weeks. SDSU takes on New Mexico for 3 games starting on Thursday for their final series of the regular season. That's your 60-second timeout. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew tonight.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by Your View. You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the Mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific, every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the Mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
All right, guys, you're only going to see this on Your View. This isn't for radio on 1090. This isn't for YouTube. This isn't for any of the audio podcast platforms. This is just for you guys that are watching on Cox Your View. The head coach of the San Diego Loyal, Landon Donovan, is jumping into Kaplan and Crew. Coach, how we doing, man?
What's going on, guys?
It is really great to see you. How's things going?
We're about a quarter of the way through the year. So not quite on the crazy grind yet, but rounding into form. So it's a good time of year.
You know, I've only been to one game so far, but my son's coming home from college for the summer. My daughter's coming home from college for the summer. We're going to start coming to a bunch of games. The one game I was at, the first game of the season, man, jam-packed crowd and exciting. Oh, my God, what a finish at the end. So, I mean, at least the one game I've been to so far, loved it. It was awesome. How's things going with the home crowd in particular?
Yeah, well, you had the best seat in the house, Scott, right behind the goal where we scored.
Right.
It looked like you guys maybe had a few adult beverages that night. It was that was a good night, but we have a pretty special atmosphere at our games. We don't have the numbers that Padres do or the Chargers once had, but the atmosphere, I think, is pretty special and unique, I think you would say, having been to a lot of sporting events. So we're very lucky. We get that at Torero. The stadium is really suited to creating an amazing atmosphere, and I think you saw it that night.
Sure did. No doubt about it. How's it going for you? I mean, I always think about it from your perspective, like you didn't need to be coaching soccer. You were passionate about bringing professional soccer to San Diego, but you have little kids. You had a great career. You were enjoying retirement. How's it going for you?
Well, Scott, you know, once you have little kids, you got to find something to get out of the house. So it was mostly down to that. I love what I do every day. There are very few people, I think, in life, maybe you are one of the exceptions to, who get to do something they love. It doesn't mean it's not without challenges and difficulties at times, but I just love getting to come every day here and have a positive impact, hopefully, on a lot of young men's lives. So it's really enjoyable for me.
Hey, Landon, recently you guys got to go up and take on MLS's LA Galaxy. And I know the result wasn't what you wanted, but the performance wasn't bad. I mean, it was only 1-0. You take that result and you tell your team, like, look, we can compete with one of the best teams in MLS, and you take that going forward.
Yeah, I think what people don't realize about our league is how good it is. And until you come to a game, you see it in person, or you come to training and watch it, or you watch a game like against the LA Galaxy, you don't realize how good the players are. The difference is the Galaxy, can spend millions and millions of dollars to get special players that we don't have. So soccer is unique in that there's 11 players on the field and scoring a goal is very difficult. In basketball, you have a guy like LeBron, that player can literally take over the game. But in soccer, you don't have that except for a certain few, Messi, Neymar, a few around the world. And so that's the ultimate equalizer. And our league is very good and very competitive in that way. And you saw actually a number of teams in our league actually beat MLS teams in that US Open Cup where we played the Galaxy. So you can tell the levels are much more similar than people realize.
Wow.
You guys are bringing such a different energy. Like you said, your fan base and how passionate you guys are about the fans are about the sport in the game. How are you continuing to give back to those fans? I mean, obviously you guys are playing teams like the Galaxy. What other surprises or what are some of the things you guys are cooking up to kind of give the fans like a thank you?
Well, this sport is pretty unique, guys, in that historically, the way soccer started was literally communities just starting a soccer club. And so that makes it really unique. In our country, we're used to baseball, basketball, football, hockey, where an owner, a wealthy owner comes in and starts the team, and then it trickles down from there. But soccer is truly the fans' game. So the fans in the community are just as invested as an owner or a coach or a player. And so that's why when you go to Torero and you see that energy, that's the feeling you're getting. It's a little different than going to other sporting events. But for us, from the beginning, our chairman and owner, Andrew Vasiliadis, he grew up in Point Loma. His family has donated tens of millions of dollars to multiple causes throughout the community, to Rady Children's, to education, to multiple things. And Andrew's first ever meeting with us, he made it very clear that he wanted this to be more than just a soccer team. He wanted us to become an institution like the Padres have been, like the Chargers were at one point, like Rady Children's Hospital, etc. So we want to be a part of the community in a real way, and it's important for us to live that every day. So we do lots of things that try to benefit the community in a positive way. We had a Rady patient out here yesterday, ironically named Landon, told him it was a great name, who was out here enjoying practice, meeting our guys, and that's one small way. But we're fortunate to have a group of guys who like to do that and have really felt loved by this community, and it's reciprocal too.
Well, Landon, we're all going to be watching these games on Cox Yorview, and I know I will see you out there this summer. I'm looking forward to getting out to more of these games. Thank you very much for stopping by and for doing this Cox Yorview exclusive with us here on Kaplan and Crew. We'll see you out there, man.
My pleasure, guys. Have a great weekend.
All right, Coach. Take care.
We are very proud to announce that the Mightier 1090 is SoCal's newest ESPN affiliate. Introducing the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio. One of the largest radio stations in North America just got bigger and better. Joining forces with the worldwide leader of sports, ESPN. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company, you need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
Hollander Dental is unique because we have been serving the Carlsbad community for over 25 years. We have a very spacious office with ample parking and state-of-the-art technology. The office has been newly renovated, so all the equipment and facility is brand new. Any patient visiting Hollander Dental can expect to be taken care of at every step of their visit.
With care and love and support, so when we're going through tough times, as dental work is and can be, they make it easy for us as patients.
Investing in your smile and your overall dental health in the long run will help you save money by preventing other medical conditions.
I would absolutely recommend Hollander Dental.
I do recommend Hollander Dental to anyone I know who needs something done.
If you love animals, Animal Zone is for you. From rescues to animal experts, Animal Zone is fun for the whole family. Watch Animal Zone right here on YourView, Saturdays at 8:30 a.m. And visit animalzone.org to learn more about the show.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Hey everybody, today's video is going to be super amazing.
And super fun. We're entering the world of comics where anything